regrets inside, waiting to step forward. Disturbing silence darkens your sight. Cast some light and you'll be alright. Cast some light and you'll be alright. For now. Crossing along the boulevard. Crossing along the boulevard. Crossing along the boulevard. Crossing along the boulevard. Streets outside your window overflow. People staring, they know you the road. Immediately reminded by the looks on their faces. Know that tonight will be alright. Catch some light and be alright.
Oh, how was that for good timing? Welcome, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
I can
hear you, Emma.
Awesome. Again, welcome, everyone. I'm going to hand you over briefly to Christy Newman, who will do the official introduction to today's Hack Your Practice session, in which we look at PowerPoint hacks. Over to you, Christy.
Can you hear me? Hold on a second. Okay, my Zoom is being very weird. I can't see anything and it's got a wheel of death, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep going. Hello, everybody.
Okay.
My name's Christy Newman. I'm Associate Dean of Engagement and Impact for the UNSW Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture, who is putting on this wonderful series of Hack Your Practice workshops in collaboration with the University of Wollongong, which is super exciting for us to be able to do something together for staff and HDR students in both of those, our universities. Just really, really briefly, I wanted to acknowledge that I'm joining today's workshop on unceded Gadigal land. Please do share in the chat the lands on which you're joining today. I'm going to be really fast in my intro because we don't have very long. Today is going to be recorded, so just be aware of that. We will make it available on YouTube and also on our EI intranet page for UNSW people. You can put closed captioning on through the show captions menu at the bottom of the Zoom window. You have been auto muted for both mic and camera, but we can use the chat function. Please do add in questions and so on as we're going. At the end of this series, we'll be sending out an evaluation form, which we really, really appreciate if you can complete, because we'd love to know what you think has gone well and what else we can do in future. I'm going to hand you back over to Emma to deliver this fantastic workshop, and I'll be around. Thanks.
Thanks, Christy. And I, in turn, am going to hand you over to the fantastically talented Armin Alimardani, who is a veritable PowerPoint whisperer and basically changed my whole relationship to PowerPoint in a good way. So over to you, Armin.
Thank you. Just making sure everyone can see me in the middle of the screen, right? Am I shared?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure can.
Yeah, okay, good. And yeah, you definitely can see the PowerPoint here. All right, so thank you so much everyone for coming. And yeah, we are very sorry about the last session we had to cancel. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that the circumstances were like that we couldn't present for that Friday. But anyway, this week we're gonna talk about the PowerPoint hacks. And the first question is, what should we even bother about PowerPoint? And the reason is, when it comes to when you're sharing your research through presentation, whether it's a conference or any other settings, we want the audience to first understand our research. So that when we are explaining things, we want it to be simple and yeah, to engage the audience. The other thing is we want to make sure they remember, because if they remember our research, that's how they may contact us for future research, how they may, we might be invited to do media, and that's how they may cite our research. So remembering is very important. And one of the things that may contribute to that is having kind of professional PowerPoints. And that's kind of easy to do, because we usually don't have the time to draft our PowerPoints in a way to become more engaging. And I'm pretty sure you all know about that. So today, the things that we are going to share with you, they're pretty simple and they're not time consuming at all. So let's start with design ideas. You may already know this one. But
Armin, sorry to interrupt, but we should we at this point ask people to open the slides that, or open a slide deck, or open the slides that you distributed before the session?
Yeah, so you probably have received an email with some slides that are practice slides. So
has everyone received their practice slides?
I haven't.
I'm not sure that they went out. Sorry. I haven't had confirmation from Anne, who I asked to send them out.
Okay, so I've got a copy of them on my desktop. I mean, why don't you keep talking, and behind the scenes, Christy and I will make sure that these get to everyone's inbox in the next few minutes.
Okay, we can't share them via chat, can we?
No, I tried to drag them into the chat and they won't go, unless there's another share document.
Unless we can put them into a shared drive file and then share the link.
Oh, all right.
I tell you what, Christy, I'm going to email them to you and see
do that.
whether you.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Yeah, if we couldn't, it's okay. We can just go with blank PowerPoints, and yeah, that wouldn't be necessary.
That's okay. We can do that.
Yeah. All right. So. These design ideas, or Microsoft changed the title later to designer. It comes with various names depending on which version of Microsoft Office you have. But for me to create this slide, it took me like 5 seconds. I just wrote design ideas and one click. And there is an AI built in Microsoft PowerPoint that allows that to happen. So you would start with a blank slide, and let's say you're presenting about teamwork, students' teamwork in classes and how they that contribute to their learning. And we can go with this slide, which looks pretty all right, or we can go with something like this, which looks much more professional and engaging. Or when it comes to like we want to talk about prediction, we can have that background slide. And none of these take more than like 10 seconds to do. You just need to write down what you want to write down. So yeah, alternatively to design ideas, the slide that I showed you at the beginning, I could go with this one because it was an alternative and I really liked it. So I thought I'd keep it here. But anyway, let me just get these out of the way. So how do we do these design ideas? You start with a blank slide, and if you haven't received the PowerPoint slides that Christy is sending, you can just open a blank PowerPoint on your computer.
Yeah, so I mean, Christy and I are just in the process of distributing the not blank slides, but the practice slide deck you prepared. And in the meantime, yeah, let's open PowerPoint and just start a new blank presentation.
Yeah, so once you do that, you should be able to find the design tab, and there is design ideas or designers at the very right side.
We should though write something though, right? On the first slide that we want to use to prompt the AI. So
yeah, let's just make sure everyone can find that design ideas.
Oh, here we go. Christy's got a link here in the chat. If everyone clicks on that, and you'll get access to the practice deck that Armin has prepared.
Oh yeah, so is there a download button?
Yeah, download them, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, there's download, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Christy.
Oh, good.
So yeah, download and open it, and then we continue. And on the first slide, I say that ignore slides 2 and 3. So we will start from slide number 4. And then we will later go back to 2 and 3, and I will explain why is that. Yeah, so once you get there.
Starting on page, slide 3, was that correct, Armin?
Slide 4.
Oh, slide 4. The design ideas slide.
Yeah. Yeah, so once you know where the design ideas is, or designer, whatever it's called in your Microsoft Office, then yeah, we can do a practice run. So we can have that how to build teamwork. So if you just look at my slide, I will quickly show it to you, and then you can try it yourself. So I'm just gonna get out of here, and so this is my slide. The title is, let's say, how to build teamwork. Okay, so one way is I go to design, and we have designer at the top right, if you can see. I'm clicking on it, and it generates some ideas. And I can click, for instance, on this one, but sometimes you don't get what you want, and the AI they use in the Microsoft Office for the PowerPoint is just so stupid. So you may need to play a trick. So you may remove how to build and keep the teamwork, and see if it's giving us something better. Nice. So it's giving me this, and then I'm gonna add to how to build. Now I have how to build teamwork with a background that I supposedly like. Now, as soon as you write something, you make changes, it starts creating some more stuff. So give it a try, and then we continue.
Is anyone having any problems finding the designer tab on the right? Is everyone great? So this is a really, really simple version of what in the AI scene we'd call prompt engineering, right? So we changed the prompt because it's an AI that's generating all these design ideas. And so some of them are pretty cliched and very stereotypical. And so by changing the text on the starting slide, you can change the types of images that the AI generates for you. Tema, sorry if I've pronounced your name incorrectly, has asked, how do we make a slide with a place for words as a starting point? So do you mean a slide? Oh, so you want a slide where it generates an idea, but you haven't put the text in yet? Is that correct?
I'm just trying to follow along with what you guys are doing. So I'm in the downloaded PowerPoint. I'm looking at slide 4, and I'm trying to do what you just did, but I made a new slide to do that. And when I make a new slide by right clicking and making a new slide, oh, well, now I have a place to type something. Okay.
Yeah, maybe take a look at slide 5, because slide 4, from what I remember, is the title of the slide ideas. And then on slide 5, I have already left how to build teamwork. If it's not there, I'm messed up.
Slide 6, how to build teamwork.
Oh, it's there. Okay.
Yeah. And so how to build teamwork is the one that you can start, perhaps changing the heading. Like you could put something that's not to do with teamwork at all. And as you'll see that underneath, there's plenty of room for text once you want to start adding it.
Great. And I think, and I'm sorry to hold everyone up, but I'm wondering if people have the same question. So how did you shift from what the designer gives you to that great image? By shifting the wording?
Okay, so let me just go back. I will Control Z. So this was the starting point, right?
Okay.
And it's giving me on the right side, it's giving me these crappy slides, and I don't like any of this. So what I do is, that was supposed to happen. What I do is I kind of trick the AI. I remove the extra words and I keep the keyword, which is teamwork.
Got it. Thank you.
And then, yeah, it gives me this. And once I select whatever I like, I copy back how to build. And then we have how to build teamwork with a background that we like.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Now, there is something wrong with my computer. It's just jumping to another slides. Now, let's imagine that none of whatever we do, we don't get the kind of slides that we want. One trick is to, here on the top, we have design. If you click on design, you can see these pre-built design by PowerPoint. And for each one of these designs, what you see as for the designer idea, they would be different. So if I right click on this and apply to selected slide, so you must select apply to selected slides. If you click on apply to all the slides, or if you just simply click on one of these designs, it would change all your slides. And that's a huge mess. And sometimes you don't notice until later, so you can't undo it. So you got to make sure right click, apply to selected slides. And now we may get some very different type of design ideas. I can do it with another one. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna apply to selected slide.
We have Aniko and Christy are not getting the background options. And I'll get to you in a moment, Bruce. So which background options? It'd be great if you could just perhaps enable your mic and then we can speed up the conversation.
Yeah, so this is Christy. I just didn't see the same design suggestions that Armin was shown. So I wasn't sure if that is what happens, is that it's always going to be a fairly random selection that it generates. I thought I had done the same steps. Anyway, I came up with some useful ones, so I think I understand the process, but I just wasn't sure if it was meant to be the same.
Yeah. So it is indeed very random. And sometimes it really bothers me to find what I want. But in many cases, yeah, it's just the first go and I get what I want. So yeah, to get very different types, you gotta click on design and right click on a different design and yeah, select it.
Yeah, Christy, the more that you play with it and sort of get used to what different prompts or even different slide types. Like if you're using a title slide or a text body slide, it's going to give you a different set of ideas. So you start getting a feel for the different things you can do to prompt for what you want. Bruce wants to know, are we abandoning our corporate slide template? I'll hand that one to you, Christy.
Great. Is anybody here from UNSW Brand Governance? I would say we are still, of course, respecting the expectations around how we represent our brand at UNSW. I'm sure Wollongong also has a similar approach. That doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of times when it's appropriate to be more creative with your PowerPoint slides. So I think it really does depend on the context, where you are presenting, and what the purpose is, and so on. I don't know if you would agree with that, Emma, around understanding what our flexibility is for creative expression in this context, but that's my approach.
I shouldn't say this while we're recording, but I follow Banksy's maxim, which is it's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission sometimes. But I just feel like in our, public-facing contexts, this is the time we want to bring our research alive. I think that, we triage, for me, I tend to triage that over corporate messaging in those types of contexts.
I'll just add one more thing. I feel very similarly. I think we get, these brief opportunities to engage people's attention, and we need to maximize that opportunity. What I do is I tend to have the UNSW slide at the beginning and sometimes at the end, and then in the middle, I will have more creative expression. But you didn't hear that directly from me. Recording.
And Charlotte and Tima agree. Yes. Okay, Armin.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to the next one. I left this image for you, so you would later know how to apply the design to specific slides and get different suggestions. So I'm just gonna close this for now, so we don't get confused. So the next thing is morph.
Okay, morph is going to change your relationship with PowerPoint forever.
Yeah, so
guaranteed.
Go in the normal mode, and you can see how it works. So morph is one of my favorite thing in PowerPoint, and we're gonna practice it. And the trick is to set everything up in one slide. Just remember this saying, and then once I explain it, it would make sense. So one of the things we can do with morphing is like you can create a timeline, and this looks very like kind of cool and professional, right? And
it also looks like it doesn't look like a PowerPoint slide. It looks like a simple animation that you've made with some other software, and this is a simple version of morph. So morph is amazing for creating that effect.
I actually had a better version, but I mistakenly removed those slides. So here you go. This is like a cooler version of the morph you can create.
This is from my digital entrepreneurship course, with help from Armin putting the morph together.
And you might think it's going to take hours, to create something like this, but it's actually very simple, and we're going to do something similar today together. So here we go. In your slides, you have a blank slide when it comes to morphing. And I'm going to explain.
11?
Yeah, you should.
Slide 11, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And I'm going to explain step by step, then I will wait for you to do it, and then I'll continue. So the first thing is, you see this click to add title or click to add text. I'll just gonna select them and remove them because I don't need title or text. You may need one, but in this case, we don't need to. So I'm gonna wait for you to do that, remove it. Okay, now the next step is to click on insert and insert a shape. So we're gonna go under shape here, and we're gonna just simply select a line. And again, I will wait for you to do it. Once you select the line, then we can draw a line.
Any line on that, under that line section?
Yeah. So when yeah, when you go insert and shape, the second one, sorry, the first one on the lines is a line. Doesn't matter which one, but you can go with the first one. I explained how you can change the shape of the line. Yeah. So yeah, once you select it, you can drag and you can see a line comes out. All right. So the next thing is once you select your line, you can see something like shape format. If you're selecting the line, otherwise it wouldn't show up.
So yeah, click on the line and then you'll get the shape format option up in the top menu bar.
Yeah. So once you do that, we want to do three things. So at the very top here, we want to add to the weight. That's one thing. When it comes to dashes, we want to select the second one. And then in terms of arrows, we want to select the fourth one. So the arrows to the sides.
Sorry, I mean, where are you? You're in shape format?
So in shape format here, at the very top.
My toolbar looks a little bit different.
Yeah, mine too.
Because it's a MacBook, but sorry, yeah, I don't have my Windows computer at home.
So I think
Windows, I think you press shape outline.
Yeah, okay, and then it clicks open to the different options.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go weight first, Armin, was it?
What was that? Yeah, wait. So
Weight.
where is it? Can anyone who has a different computer and they know?
So if you go shape format, and then you'll see a little rectangle with a pencil and a blue line underneath, sort of to the slight middle of the left under view on mine. And if you click the down arrow, you'll get an option for colors, weight, whether you want dashes, whether you want arrows.
And it's called shape outline on mine as the drop down menu.
Okay.
Would everyone find it? Yeah, great. So once you find it, we want to change three things: weight, dashes, and arrows. In terms of weights, we want to go maximum 6 pt or 6 points. In terms of the dashes, you can select anyone other than the normal line. I'm just going to go with the normal second one. And then the third thing, in terms of arrows, I want to select something that is, it has the arrow on both sides. And once we all have this, okay, now the next step is at the bottom right of your PowerPoint, there is this minus and plus. So this is for zooming in and zoom out. We want to zoom out a lot. And once you zoom out, then we select the arrow and then drag it to outside. We want to go like around the same size as this white background that we have. So we want to have twice the size of the background. It doesn't matter really how big it is, but something around that would do. Next, we want to go to insert and get a shape, or we can go to icon and get an icon. So insert icon. You can copy any image if you want. Anything doesn't matter. As I will explain, you will understand that doesn't matter where you get your image and what is your image. I'm just gonna search for, let's say, computer. And insert an image. And resize it and put it at the very beginning. Again, I'm gonna, the zoom is at the bottom right. You have these minus and plus for zooming. And we want to zoom out. So we got to click on the minus a couple of times. Again, you can copy any image from your computer, or you can find images under insert and then icon, and then click on images and get something. So I got one image there. I'm gonna just get another random one, a second image. And
Just checking, I mean, this is Christy again. On my computer, it opened up the stock of images in a separate window. Is that, that I think is just a PC thing? Is that right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't matter what image you get or where you get it.
Or how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as, so for your research, you may have some other image. You are talking about, I don't know, the environment, you want to put a tree. Or the alternative is you can put text in. Anything that is relevant to your research. So again, under insert, we have text boxes. You can enter a text box.
Yeah, so these are just placeholder images or
Yeah.
icons or shapes, just so that we can show you the way Morph works.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add a text box as well. So again, text box is up here under insert. We have text box, you click on it, you can drag and get the text box. I'm gonna write a number, let's say 2000, referring to the year 2000. I will zoom in so you would understand what I'm doing here. All right, so I have one text box that says 2000, and then we go to the other side, to the end, where we have the other image.
You zoom out again.
Yeah. I zoom out and then I scroll to the right. And then again, insert text box. And this time I'm gonna write 2023, let's say. Yeah, GIFs would work, yeah.
Oh, GIFs, yeah. That's how, Bianca, that's how we did the original one with the emoji version of Armin doing things. They were GIFs. Oh, no, I think they might have been from the phone. But anyway, yeah, you can put in anything at all.
So you should have something like this. You have one image at the very left, one image at the right. Okay. Now, the next step is I will do it, then I will wait for you to do it. First off, we want to duplicate this. So before we start duplicating, we got to make sure we have everything we want. We can add images at in the middle as well. So we can have more images if we want and move between these images one by one. But for as an example, I'm just going to put 2 only. All right. So once we have everything ready, then we start duplicating. So we can right click, find duplicate slide. I'll wait for you to do it. All right, and then what I do is I will select everything in the picture. If you have Windows computer, probably Control A would select everything. If you have MacBook, that would be Command A to select everything. And once we have everything selected, hold down Shift and drag your image until the other image is in the scene and the first image is out. Okay, now the final step. We have transition at the top. Click on transition. And while you're on your duplicated slide. So
Jan's asking, Jan, perhaps enable your audio so we know exactly which last bit you'd like repeated.
The dragging.
Oh, sorry, the dragging bit. I'm just trying to see if you're just dragging it across. So it's just put the right hand icon inside the little white part. Yep. Oh, righto. Thank you.
Yeah. If you hold down, the reason I say hold and shift, I would prevent you to go up and down. So if I'm not holding down shift, see, this may happen. I might end up like in different, height. So by holding down shift and then dragging, it keeps it in the same height. Okay, now while we are on the duplicated slide, we have morph under transitions. So click on transitions and select morph.
It's like magic.
And then you can go back to the first slide and then run it on your computer and you will see something like this.
Bianca is very impressed, Armin.
I really like it. I do timelines in my lectures, so this is going to take it to the next level.
It's beautiful, right?
Thank you.
Now, once everyone has done it, drag it did not stay.
Livia, how about we circle back to morphs when are you about to go into zooming with morph, Armin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Livia, I'm happy to come back and talk you through that part again, unless there's a lot of people who.
So hold on, not working, sorry. So just making sure you did the last 3 steps. Once we are done with the first slide, that we put our images, everything is in place. Then you got to right click.
You got to duplicate the slide.
Yeah, you got to right click and duplicate the slide.
No, that's all been done. That's all been done. And it's just at the very last, I did Control A, and then I click move, and then how does the animation kick in?
Oh, to make the animation kick in, you go.
I can see it on the slide. So let me just rephrase. I can see it on the slide itself. When I click morph, the timeline goes from left to right.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, but when I'm actually scrolling through my slides and I go from 10 to 11 to 12, they just look static.
You have to present the slide to see it working.
Yeah.
It has to be on presentation mode.
If you just click, yeah.
Okay, that was the trick, maybe. Okay, thank you. Let's see.
See, I'm going to presentation mode right now. When I click, it works.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Now I quickly want to show you something else. We don't want to do it, just to give you an idea that you can do other things. So if I just remove this quickly.
Aniko wants to know where morph is. So you go on transitions at the top, and morph is one of the options.
Yeah.
Leo, in terms of morphing for different directions, yes, and we'll get to that.
Yeah. So see, instead of 2 images, I could have more images. I just want to add 1. We don't want to do it because we won't have time, but I want to tell you that you can do with many more things and longer timelines. So this is my very first slide again, right? I prepare everything. This time I have 3 images. You can have 100 images, but yeah. And then I duplicate. In my duplicated slide, I select everything. I hold down shift I move this, and now I have the second image in. And again, I duplicate. And in the third slide, I select everything, I hold down Shift, and I move it so I have the third image in. And then for the last two slides, all the duplicated ones, I select all of them. So once you click on one, you hold down Shift, you can select the other one. Now both of them are selected. There is red around them. There's this red border, right? And then I go to transition and click morph. And once we do that, I go to the first slide, I run it again. This was the first one, and this is the second one. And you can imagine you can have a timeline. But the most important thing is you got to be sure when you're starting with the first slide what you want to have. Because if you add things later, it wouldn't recognize it in many cases. And then you have to redo things from the beginning. Now, I want to show you another example. Again, we won't have time to go around it. If you have, for instance, a graph, and you want to show different parts of the graph, this is how I do. This is all the information I want in this slide, so I'm not going to add anything else. I'm happy with it. I start duplicate the slide, and oopsie. Sorry about that. So in my duplicated slide, I select my image, and I want to zoom in on pencil. So I drag one side of it and make it bigger. And on the left, I can see that how my image looks if I go full screen. So full screen looks like this, right? And on the left side, I can see. So I start moving this to see how it would look when I go full screen when I'm presenting. I move it around until this pencil, which is the first graph, is in the picture, in the frame. And I want it to be a little bit to the middle when I'm talking about the number of pencils, for instance, in my research. And then once I'm happy with the position of that, I duplicate again. And this time I want to make it even bigger because this scale bar is pretty short. So I'm going to make it bigger and bigger, and I'll make sure I'm going to put it in the middle, and I constantly look at the left side to make sure that what I want is in the picture, in the frame. And again, I duplicate it. Same thing. I'm going to make it even bigger. I'm going to move it around, and pen is exactly where I want. And I'm going to do it one more time, and that would be it. This time, when I go to sharpener, I see the sharpener is big, and I'm not going to be able to fit it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out and make it smaller and bring it in.
So Leo, this is going to get to your question about morphing in different directions.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do the eraser at the very end. Let's skip that, but I'm going to do one more duplicate. And the last slide, I want to go back to normal. So I'm going to make it small. So zooming out in general would help. I'm going to make it small, the same size as it was at the very beginning, and put it there. So I select my slide, I hold down Shift to select all the other duplicated slides. And then I go to transition at the top and click morph. And then I go to my first slide, I run it as a PowerPoint, and it would look like this. And then we skip the eraser, so we just go back to normal. So you can do this on any other image. Like let's say you have this image, you want to discuss them one by one. I did exactly the same thing. I made them bigger and I moved them around to place them exactly where I want. And then in the last one, I want to zoom in on the eyes of this creature. That's how it works. I hope it's clear that how it works. So how does both know how to transition? Is it AI also looking at the previous slide to determine the best way to work it? So I could work out how it recognizes what to do is based on I'm not sure exactly the mechanism, because I learned some time ago that the mechanism is different from what I thought. I thought it labels the images like this one. And if the labels are the same, it would understand these two are same object. So it would move around. But it turned out it's different. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the mechanism work, honestly, whether there is AI or something. But yeah, let's go to the next thing. As you have noticed, there is morph here, but there are so many other things. So for instance, for this slide, I'm using push. And it moves like that. And there are so many other, I don't know, cool ones. So if from here, I go to the next slide, this is what happens. And yeah, you can play around, find many of them. But yeah, depending on what you're saying, you can use a transition that is relevant. So I say the double-edged sword effect of neuroscience is a myth. I want to say, yeah, it's irrelevant thing, and that's how it looks like, and then go for punchline. So where was it again? It's on the transition, and there are so many different transitions here that you can select. Okay, if no one has questions, yeah, let's go to the next one. We are almost out of time, one at a time. So see, when we present, we tend to copy the whole text in, and that sometimes distract people because as I'm talking right now, you're reading my dot points instead of listening to me. And you may lose something, you may miss something important as I'm saying, and the rest of my discussion could be based on that. And you may miss everything, you know, in this slide. I don't understand what I'm trying to say. So instead of doing that, we can simply add animations. So this is where animations can be good. We can go dot points by dot points. And as I'm explaining, I can wait, I explain, and then I go to the next one. And making these animations, so you have it in your slides for practice, but I'm gonna explain first, and you can try it quickly. So let's say I write all of my dot points, and then I select everything, and then I go to animations. And there are so many animations here. Again, in your computer, it may be in some other location, but they all look the same. If you can see the animation, and yeah, you can find the animations, and you can scroll down and choose different things, but some of them are just they move too much. One of the things I really like, one of the animations is floating, and that's the one I selected. So if I select this, it would do that to all the text. So see if I try it. Oh, oops. Didn't move. Oh, because oh, all right. I know what's happened. Let me quickly remove this because I already put the animation in. It confused it. So yeah, I select everything. I go to animation and float in, and see it does it to everything, to all the text, and this is not what we want. So the easiest way to resolve that is to click on this animation panel here, and then on the right side you will see all the animations, and you can see only the first one has a mouse click. That means once I click on it, the rest of them would follow, and that's not what we want. So I click on one of these, doesn't matter which one. If you have Windows, you go Control A to select all. If you have MacBooks, you go Command A to select all. And then we have timing. Click on timing, and then under Start, we select the first one. It says unclick. Don't worry, I'm gonna repeat this. I just I want you to know what's the process. And once we have unclick, you can see all of them have clicked now. And then if I run it again, they come one by one. Now you have this in your practice slides. You can quickly practice this, and if you got confused, you can ask me. I can tell you how to do it. So I'm just going to give you a minute. Okay, any
Sorry, could I just ask a quick question, Jan, here? I'm in the right slide. I'm in animation. I'm just trying to figure out again how to select the separate dot points.
Oh, okay. So you click on one of them.
Yep.
Doesn't matter which one. If you have Windows computer, Alt Control A, then it would select all.
Oh, I've got a MacBook Pro.
So
Yep.
that would be Command A then.
Okay.
Did it select all of them like this?
Yep.
All of them? Yeah. So
Yep.
and then we have timing at the bottom. Click on timing.
Actually, what's happened is I'm not seeing on the side. I'm still seeing icons on the side and not animations on the side panel.
So Jan, you need to open the animation panel.
Yeah. So let me tell you what is happening. Whatever you have on the right side, close it. Like you can see this close button here.
Yep, I've closed. Yep.
Yeah. Whatever. You may
Animate.
have, yeah. Then you can see the animation. Right.
Yeah.
If you cannot see these animations here, it means you didn't click on this animation panel.
Okay. Animation pane. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Once you click on that, then you will see this and select all of them. And then under timing, we have click. One on click. Okay, and final thing, I know it's 12:45, so anyone needs to leave, it's okay. And then, yeah, we're done. This is the final thing. So connecting the dots. When it comes to presenting, sometimes we want to refer back to what we said, or we want to give the audience the big picture of different things we are discussing and how they're relevant to each other. But it would be difficult to do that if we want to constantly say, do you remember I said that, under this topic? And yeah, it could be a little bit difficult for the audience to remember what we are talking about. So what we want to do is we want to use Zoom. And what is Zoom is that I will show you how to get here, but
this is Zoom as in a function within PowerPoint, not Zoom as in the platform that we're using for video conferencing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just move it to the top, and that's that's why in the practice slides I left this at the very beginning for you. But yeah, I'm gonna show you quickly how it works. So these things that you see, these are different slides of this presentation. So if I click on this one, it will take me to that. And as I go, once I get to the next topic, it would zoom out and then zoom in. Unfortunately, we created too many slides here. I'm not getting to that, but let me just show you once and then we practice together. So I'm gonna remove all these guys first. So this is what you have, okay? So there are 3 different ways to use Zoom. I'm gonna show you the first way, which is the easiest way, but it doesn't give you that much flexibility. So under Insert, you will see Zoom. And then we want to select Summary Zoom. Once I select Summary Zoom, it shows me all the slides that I have in this presentation. So I want to just select those slides that are I start a new topic. So the very first slide, then what we have, then we have design ideas. So I hold down Shift to select more. So I have the first slide, I have design ideas. Then what did I talk about? What was the next thing? I said, let's do the try design ideas, and then let's try morph. So let's say these are the 5 different topics I discussed, and all of them are selected. So I hold down shift, I select them, and then I let go of shift and click insert. Once I do that, it automatically creates a new slide and puts all my slides, the 4 slides that I selected here. And if I play the PowerPoint and I'm not clicking on any of these slides, I can click on them and directly go to them, but I wanted to run it in order. So if I hit the space, it automatically starts from the very beginning. And if I hit the space, I want to do it quickly. So when I get to the next slide, which is design ideas, it automatically zooms out. Then I can tell the audience that now the second topic I want to talk about is design ideas. Then I hit the space again, it goes to design ideas. And I discuss all these things until I get to the next one, which is design ideas. Let's do it when we practiced it. And I say, now let's practice that. And again, if I go to the end, I get to the next one, which is morphing. So this is called Zoom. And yeah, the good thing about it is that you can constantly connect the dots in your presentation and remind the audience what are you talking about, and tell them the big picture. So let's practice this first, and then I'm going to tell you the cooler version, which is with this slide. So on the in your practice slides, go to the beginning and select the very first slide. And don't worry that on the first slide there is a note that says we're going to start from slide 4. That's doesn't matter. Just go to the very first slide. And then on top left, we have insert. Click on insert. And then somewhere you should be able to see Zoom. So there is Zoom. Once you click on Zoom, you see 3 options. One of them should be gray for you. We want
Can anybody else tell me where they see Zoom in the insert toolbar? Yeah, can't see it on PC. I can't either. Oh, hold on. I had to expand it and then I can see it. When I put it on a bigger monitor, it had more options.
Oh, okay. So at the very right, you probably see an arrow. You got to click on that arrow.
Yeah, it's in the links group.
Links. Okay. Oh, yes.
The other thing that's really helpful is using the help, PowerPoint's help up in the top right in the menu where your application opens, and type in and it will take you to the place that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good point, Emma. So yeah, once you click Zoom, if you click on help and search Zoom, it will tell you where to find it. Alternative places.
Apologies, Armin. When we go to Zoom, do we do summary or slide?
Summary Zoom.
Thank you.
So once you click on the summary Zoom, you can see all your slides. As a practice, we just wanna, let's say, select 3 of them. So select the very first one and then hold down shift to be able to select the other ones at the same time. So yeah. Select 3. Just randomly you can do it because it's just a practice. And then insert. And then you should be able to see something like this. Is it clear to everyone? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that worked great. Okay.
Wow, I did not know how to do that before this session. I mean, thank you for that additional PowerPoint hack.
No worries.
Very cool.
Now, the second option, which I'm going to explain quickly, is that if we don't go with this format, because we can't do that much, we can't play around that much with them, and you're limited to this box. And it's just not that, it doesn't look that good. The other version is we got to first remove this slide that we have on the left side that we created, the zoom slide. So I'm going to select it. You can right click and delete. Where is the delete? What? Yeah, delete
Okay.
the slide. Yeah, obviously. What happened to this? Yeah, so I'm going to remove it. And if you have noticed, you have now some sections. So it says summary section. I don't know. Wherever you select this slide, you will see some notes over them. If you see any of these notes, like default section, summary section, if you see any of them, doesn't matter which one, right click on one of them and select remove all sections. I'm just gonna keep it here so you can come back and see. So yeah, we got to remove the sections first, because these sections are created because of the zoom we just created. Otherwise, by default, they are not there. So we just want to go back to where we were at the beginning.
Just a heads up, we're 4 minutes off 1 o'clock. I'm in. So
yeah, all right, I'm gonna finish. So remove sections, and then again, I go on the slide that I want to enter my zoom images. So this is the slide that I got for my background. Then I go to insert, I find zoom, and yeah, sorry, before that, for the slides that I want them to be part of my zoom as a zoom slide, I go and click on them, I right click, then add section. So we have to create sections for this type of zoom that we want. So I name this like section 1. I want to put 1. You don't need to name it necessarily. I go and say, okay, design ideas is the second topic, right click, add section. I'm gonna name it 2. And I just want to add one more as an example, which is design ideas. Let's do it as a practice. So right click again, we have add section. I'm gonna name it 3. Okay, now I have 3 sections. And if I go to the very beginning to this slide with this background that I downloaded from the internet, I go to insert, zoom, and now you can see section zoom. Click on it and it automatically has all the sections. So wherever you create a section, the very first slide after that is there. So I select those that I want. I want this one. Let's get all of them. So yeah, I select this one and hold shift down and select all 4 of them and click insert. And it just puts everything down like this, like images. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select each one of these. I'm gonna pull it in one of these places. The last one is, which is the very first slide, but yeah. So I have my 4 slides in place in different places on this image. And then once I run it and I hit this space, it would look like this. And until the next section, it would continue and then zoom out to show me this image and then zooms in again. And then I go again, the same thing. So this is how you create it with section.
amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's 1 o'clock. So
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time and concentration. If you get stuck, you'll find a YouTube tutorial. I mean, you taught yourself all of this from watching PowerPoint YouTube tutorials, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So if you hit a brick wall, there's a YouTube tutorial for that. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back in 2 weeks for, is it home studio hacks or video editing hacks?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it's home studio.
We're moving into the making movies mode of section of Hack Your Practice. So hope to see you again soon.
Bye.
And yes, we'll be sharing the recording link.